Shalom, shalom, shalom. So I'm just going to run this through and recap this entire debate between me and YeremiYah. Please say the Yah from Source Debate League. This was a Source Debate and Lions Den collaboration, since I'm the Lions Den Intercontinental Champion. You know what I'm saying? Yours truly, Zion Warchild, you know what I mean? The Smushinator, your Smusher man, baby. You already know what it is. I'm just going to run this through.
You try to minimize that as if it ain't important. You want to go down to damn Jamaica and eat damn strip pops and pork, okay? Because you want to sit around and do that and look ridiculous. And the Bible is telling you not to do that for a reason. It ain't telling you, the Lord just don't happen to, you just happen to have a problem with pork, or you happen to have a problem with shrimp. Nah, there's a reason. And when you go into it in the science, reason, and you look and see that these animals have a particular type of enzyme that's in them that cannot be cooked away by fire. I gotta win in advance. Fire. If they need a leader of men, fire. Receptacles all on their neck. Yes. Now they all wanna be friends. For real. I just got out of the booth. Yes. They know I be speaking the truth. Fire. They don't wanna listen to facts. No. So we just turn to the youth. For real. Follow me. Why these niggas play Monopoly? These niggas never gonna change, so I shoot him in his brain. Then he try to tell a joke, but I'm feeling that it's lame. While I'm steady spitting flames, will his information change? Ignorance cannot explain why is he on the campaign? Tell me what is the procedure? Better run a chick to me to beat him till he catch a season. So he never went to see you. These niggas need a reader. They don't want problems with us. Getting a win is a must. Some of them thinking they tough. Yes, I could be calling they bluff.
Precepticons in the building, you heard? We ain't playing no games tonight, man. We ain't playing no games tonight, man. You can also tune in on YouTube to check my PowerPoint at the Source Debate League. You feel me? It's about to go down, man. Shout out to the Lions Den. Shout out to Black Jesus Minister. Shout out to Xion, the artist formerly known as Mr. Who Got the Smack Laid Down on His Candy Ass. We here.
Right. We gotta wait until let me get Karima up so I can get the StreamYard going. You got your StreamYard going for Source Debate?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother Lord Megatron, and brother Zion. I guess you two brothers can. I gave brother Iz a green bean, but I need to give Zion one since you two guys are the debaters, and you two guys can work it out. Who's going to be the moderator and who's going to be the timekeeper and all that. I hope maybe y'all got some of that worked out already. All right, so right now, so Zion has a green bean, Lord Megatron, brother Iz, and I think that's enough right there. Unless you guys choose to make anybody else a moderator, that's on you guys. I have to check this Bob. I have to check. Isaac could be the moderator.
I'm not a moderator, Zion. You make it unnecessary.
I'm gonna check it.
Okay, that's
just
fine.
in case.
1 second, bro. You got this, bro. We ain't got no issue, bro. I sent you the information. Read it. Listen, let me say something. This is the wrong time, Zion. We can deal with that anytime. Listen. Right. Once the debate start, Black Jesus, listen, once we get official, Zion and Megatron won't need moderator back.
Right, he's gonna, I think, be hosting. I'll be timekeeper, and we can move forward accordingly. Okay, that cool, Black Jesus?
Okay. Well, go ahead, Brother Is, and put Lord Megatron and Zion in the audience, and Lord Megatron and Zion, y'all come back up. So we're gonna take away your badges, okay? Come back up.
You don't need no help from me. I can go back in the audience.
No. Anybody's welcome on the stage, Isaac. Everybody's welcome on the stage, brother.
Okay.
Anybody that's not a debater or the reader or hosting the room should not be unmuting those. So they're welcome up on stage. But if you're not a debater or the reader, there's no our timekeeper. There's no reason for you to unmute.
Right.
I'm going to turn this room over to Iz and Rodney, and while we're listening to these brothers' instructions, everybody please continue to ping in your friends and family and associates. Remember, you guys can go back and ping a second and third time, and even multiple times, by simply sharing this room twice on Clubhouse Hallway. If you go back and click that share icon, and then the share on Clubhouse listing at the very bottom, and share the room twice by clicking the blue share bar, and then the top left option, do that 2 times. You guys can go back and ping in more people, okay? So that's a trick that I learned that I'm sharing with you guys. So please do that for us. Please do that for us so that we can maximize the number in this room to hear what you all have to say, because I'm pretty sure that you guys will have questions and comments after this debate of the debaters. So thank you all very much for being here. And Brother Iz and Brother Rodney, you all have control of this room, brother. I'm shutting up.
All right, thank you so much. So yeah, the debate will be YeremiYah versus Zion about are the Ethiopians equal with Israel. So YeremiYah, I think you might have contacted me how the format will be. There's going to be 3 10-minute rounds. So it appears to be the first round. It's going to be your opening premise. Your second round, you can go ahead and further and concrete your premise and or add your rebuttal. And then your third round would be another rebuttal round here, just to be clear.
Come. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And then are we going into the questions around? Roughly about 15 minutes if y'all want to do? You got 2 minutes to answer the question?
Yeah, that'll work.
No, and you'll be, yes, sir. You'll be able to answer. So the question rounds, that'll be the last round. Then you guys are going to go ahead and have 15 minutes to put your opponent on the hot seat. They're going to have 2 minutes to answer yes or no, and or provide scripture after they say the yes or no. After the 2 minutes, the debaters may go ahead and ask the question, and then we go flip the table, and you get to put your other opponent on the hot seat. So the format should be very clear. So I'm sure you guys understood it, and then maybe you guys will be able to do a closing round, and then the debate will be good to go. So if anybody has any questions before we start this debate, and we'll get it going. I got any questions?
I think there's supposed to be a judge debate. I'm not sure, but I think Azza, I could be mistaken, was supposed to be a judge. Is that correct, Megatron?
I'm not sure. I put the invite out, man, and I was hoping, you know what I'm saying, brothers would step up and make a judge.
Azza, Jarrell. And,
I got debaters from the OT only. So, you know what I'm saying? So these are not people who know me. Sister Deborah, I don't know if my brother
are they in the audience?
Yeah, Sister Deborah's in the audience right now. She was waiting for it. I've never met her before. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we can bring her up. That's Azza, Jarrell, and then the sister. That'll work.
Okay.
I'm inviting y'all up now. All right, so Azza, you coming on up. Jarrell, you coming on up. You on the job, whether you want to be or not. You win this joint.
All right, so y'all go ahead and be the 3 judges. So make sure you guys do your judgment based off of the 3 rounds and based off of the question round. Anything outside of that, the debate is over. So the judging should not be based off anything outside of the 3 rounds, the question round. So you guys will be
real quick, brother. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to bed in like an hour or something. So that's why I went back into the audience. So you might want to pull up one more person.
Man, it ain't number 4:30 in the evening, man. You too old.
Hey,
yeah, when I get up at 3:30, man, y'all drive for me. Okay.
YeremiYah's in the audience, man. If you wanna be a judge, YeremiYah, put your raise your hand so they can bring you up.
Judge Gentry is good.
Hey, we got Kevin J in the building, and Kevin J, he's non-biased in this. I don't think let's see if that brother's available.
Well, while you guys are doing that, so sources, are you guys going to be using extra biblical text and the KJV, which will be the 66 plus 14? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure we got sources are going to be used in the debate. That way, nobody can say, "Oh, I don't utilize that source" or whatnot. So, again, this will be 3 rounds. The first round, like I said, you can do your opening premise. Your second round, you could open. You can go ahead and concrete your premise that you did in your first round, or rebuttal, and then your third round, you can complete your rebuttal, and then that way you can make sure the questions are the position of your opponent is very clear before we head to the question round, so we don't say you ask a question and then your opponent says, "I never said that." That'll save you time from wasting your time in the question round. Now that you've fully understood your opponent's position and rebuttals in the third round. So we got the 3 judges right here. We got 4 judges actually. Deborah, Jarrell, Kevin J.
I brought both of them up to pick between which, just in case somebody can't do it, like the other situation. So we want to have 3, but Kevin J had first dibs. Kevin J, can you be a judge for tonight?
I have no issue with it at all. My brother is.
Shalom, family. What's going on? All right, Brother Kazak, man, I was going to use you if Kevin J couldn't do it. He had first dibs on it. I'm going to just move you back down. Shalom, but how you been too also, man?
Man, everything good, brother, man. How you doing?
All praise you, man. Now I'm going to move you back down. I appreciate you, though, Kazak.
Okay.
All right. So we have our judges in place now.
Yes, sir.
So that's all the judges. So to the judges, man, we're going to ask you all to keep it extremely non-biased, stick to the information. Make sure that you are around your device, your listening device. You don't go off watching TV shows at the same time. Your role is pretty much the most important role here outside of the debater. And that's pretty much it. You all know how to judge non-biasedly, And that's all I got, Rodney. I'll keep.
Yes, sir.
Hey, hold on, JJ, are you busy right now? Because you're on the stage. Jeremiah.
Yeah, he might be stepping away. So, yes, for
right.
the judges, like I said, put yourself in a position as a judge in the biblical text, i.e., do not be a respecter of person and hear out the entire matter. Hear out the entire position between the two and come into a judgment. It's all about the information. It's not about, who's your friend, whether they may be right or not. It's about the information for the edification. So, what I'm saying? Now that everything's good to go, we got our timekeeper, we got the moderator, we got our debaters, we got the 3 judges who may go ahead and start the debate. So again, if we have any last questions from the debaters, timekeepers, like the minister or the judges, you can go ahead and ask your questions, and then we go straight to the information. Anybody else got questions? No? All right. Is you ready to go?
Yeah, I just want to know who's going first between the 2 contestants.
Who issued the challenge?
I'll go first.
The challenge.
Okay, so YeremiYah, you're going to be the. Go ahead. So I was going to say, since you issued the challenge, YeremiYah, you will be the first one, and then after that,
issued the challenge. I issued the challenge.
Zion issued the challenge. So YeremiYah get to choose.
Yeah. So Zion, you issued the challenge. If you issue the challenge, you will be the first one, and then after that, you will be the first one to be put the question round. So YeremiYah is going to be the first one to ask the question. and then you get to flip it around, and you'll ask the question, and then the debate's over. All right. So, you got your 10 minutes ready?
Kind.
All right, Zion, do you have you ready?
Yep, hold on, I'm just top for my for YouTube, you know what I'm saying, TV. Hold on, let me just get this right. And yeah.
And then since I'm on Clubhouse, I'm not on YouTube or anything like that. If you are having technical difficulties, you may go ahead and just let me know. We'll pause the time until you get your PowerPoint or anything ready. And then we're gonna go ahead and get more clarification on the question around, saying if it requires you didn't understand your opponent's question, we're gonna go ahead and stop the time and go ahead and re-ask the question. And then the time will resume when the debater is answering the question. That way you don't have to clarify the question at the expense of your time. So we're gonna go ahead and make that clear. So as soon as you have your PowerPoint over here, Zion, we're going to go ahead and start your time whenever you start speaking, okay?
Online.
So we can clear the stage, okay, sis?
Oh, okay, I thought I was judging.
No. It's Deborah, Kevin J, and Jarrell.
Okay, move it down.
I was gonna say I can yield. All right.
No, she down there. It's okay. We appreciate you, Sister Deborah.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
All right. Just tell me when to start. And if you all have any difficulty, just let Rodney know to stop the time, and he'll give me the signal, and I stop the time.
All right, sounds good deal. All right, go ahead and set your time at 10 minutes. And then Zion, are you ready, bro?
As soon as you start talking, I'm gonna start, Zion.
Okay. So as soon as you start speaking, your time will start. And then before we do, last thing, you will get 2 warnings. You're gonna get a 5-minute warning, and you're gonna get a 1-minute warning. And then if you didn't hear it, the only time the timekeeper is gonna unmute is when they're giving out their warning signal. So if you hear at 5 minutes, that's just telling you there's 5 minutes left. And then there's 1 minute left, and then time. That's the end of your round. Just to make that clear for both debaters. So, all right, so it's 10 minutes set to go. So go ahead, Zon, you can go ahead and unmute, and your time will start when you start speaking.
Is it me first, or is it Lord Megatron?
Yes, sir. It'll be you. Since you issued the debate, you'll be first.
Okay.
Okay. Your time will start when you start speaking.
All right. Hit the clock. Amos chapter 9, verses 7. Hallelujah, holla back. You know who it is. Amos chapter 9, verses 7. Are ye not as the children of Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel? Saith the Lord, have I not brought you up, Israel, out of the land of Egypt, and Philistines, and Captor, and Syrians, and from Kir? This debate is about Ethiopia and Israel being equal in the eyes of Yah, right? So we go back to Genesis chapter 2, verses 13. There was no Israel when it said the name of the second river is Gihon, the same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. Okay? So where I'm going with this, it's going to be really interesting. On my PowerPoint, you will see Ethiops equals Nubia equals Cush / Abyssinia. The empire of Cush covers a broad geographic region that originates from the base of the Blue Nile, including modern-day Ethiopian Ethiops / Abyssinia. This originates all the Nile Valley cultures and civilizations and is the beginning of human evolution according to science and evolutionary science. Genesis chapter 2, verse 13. Genesis chapter 10 and 7 says, the sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, and Sabta, Rapman, Sabcha, And the sons of Rahman, Sheba and Dedan. Very important to pay attention to. And Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. Jobab is a very important word to remember. Okay? And these were the sons of Joktan, also a very important name in the bloodlines that you will later see in Israel, coming from the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So the sons of Cush, this is 2nd Chronicles. So you went to Genesis chapter 10, verses 29. 1 Chronicles 1 and 19, the sons of Cush, Sheba, Havilah, and Sabta, Rahman, Sabta, and the sons of Rahman, Sheba, and Dedan. Okay, so I'm gonna go down, and then it says, this is the verse is I don't remember the verse. It says, then Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him Zimran, Joktan, which is the same word as Joktan, Medan, Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. And Joktan begat Sheba and Dedan. The sons of Dedan were Asherim and Letzrim and Leomim. And the sons of Midian, Ephah, Hanak, Abda, Ilda, and those were the children of Keturah. This is important, y'all. Okay, so the connection in my PowerPoint, you'll see Psalm 68. Princes and princes shall come out of Egypt. Ethiopia shall stretch forth her hands unto God. Amos chapter 9, we already covered. Chapter 9, verse 7, we already covered. 2nd Chronicles, okay, it came against Zimra, Ethiopia, with the host of 1,300 chariots. Now, what I want to make sure y'all understand is that when there are negative things spoken of about Ethiopia, there are also negative things that are in relation to Israel, because Ethiopia and the Ethiopian people, Midian, also sinned against God like any other nation. But when they were righteous, I'm going to show you this. When they were righteous, God blessed them. Now, my next slide is showing the prophet Enoch, called the Ethiopian. My brother over here had already stated the only reason he was called the Ethiopian is because his face was brown, and the word Ethiopia means sunburned faces. Well, if that's the case, then everybody who's an Israelite with a brown face is considered an Ethiopian. But here it goes. Enoch the Ethiopian, patriarch and prophet, greater than Abraham, holier than Moses, the lawgiver, yet he has been kept secret until pointing of this revealing book. The book states that only 3 men ascended body, mind, and soul into heaven. Enoch was one, Elijah was the second, and Yeshua HaMashiach was the third. Here's the problem. He says that it has nothing to do with him being from the land of Ethiopia. However, the book was found in a land that is presently known as Ethiopia, and has been the land that has kept the longest, the oldest complete Bible there is. Okay. However, the book of Enoch resurfaced at the beginning of the 17th century when it was discovered in Ethiopia, written in an Ethiopic language. In fact, the book Enoch is preserved in its entirety in the church at Ethiopia and is included in their Bible. The Ethiopians claim that it was a divine scripture and treat it as such to this day. Moving on to my next slide. Exodus chapter 18, verses 9 through 12. Jethro, let's go back to Jethro. Midian, this was very important in the beginning when I was going through Genesis. Jethro rejoiced over the good which the Lord had done for Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hands of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, blessed be the Lord. Oh, wait, hold on. The high priest Jethro the Ethiopian was praising the Lord, and who had delivered you out of the hands of the Egyptians and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who has delivered the people from under the hands of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all of the gods, for in that very thing in which they behaved proudly,
he was above them. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and other sacrifices to offer to Yah. Now, if we get a little bit deeper, we can go into Numbers. He answered, no, I will not go. So Moses asked Jethro to come with him to the land. And Jethro said no. In Exodus 18, Moses begs him to come with them and offers him a prophet. This is Exodus chapter 18, verse 13 through 24. Moses answered, because the people come to seek God's will whenever they have, so first and foremost, it was Jethro, right, who fixed Moses' face. The next day, Moses took his seat to serve as a judge for the people, and they stood around him till the morning. And when the father-in-law, Jethro, saw what Moses was doing for all the people, he said, what are you doing for the people? Why are you alone judging and sitting? And then let's go to 16. Whenever they have a dispute, it was brought unto me. I decided to, between the parties, to inform them. Let's skip down just a little bit more, because I don't want to waste my time and lose y'all attention and lose this opportunity. So let's get down to where it says, Jethro, he said, listen now to me. I will give you some advice. And may God be with you. You must be the people's representative before God and bring their disputes to him. Teach them his decrees and instructions and show them the way that they are to live and how to behave. Oh, wait, it was Jethro that began telling him to make the Mosaic law. But select capable men. Wait, go down to 22, right? Exodus 18:22. Have them serve as judges and people at all time, but have them bring every difficult case to you. Watch this, 23. If you do this, if you do this and God so commands you, you will be able to stand the strain, and all these people will go home satisfied. Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything he said. Going further, Miriam and Aaron spoke against the Ethiopian woman, Jethro's daughter, whom he had, and that's in Exodus 12. You can go down from 1 all the way to 15. Miriam was cursed for speaking against this woman. So you got to watch what you say about Ethiopia, because when you speak against Moses and his wife, God struck her. Wait, what did it say? And when, in verse 10, when the cloud lifted from over the meeting tent, Miriam had a very bad skin disease. See, God came down in a cloud because they spoke against the Ethiopian woman whom Moses had married. Let's move over to Numbers. I rest.
All right, that is time. That is going to be the end of Zion's first round. So we're going to go ahead and reset the time. Back 10 minutes. Lord Megatron, are you there? Are you there, brother?
Yes, sir.
You got your power slides. You got your power slides ready?
Yes, sir.
Audio check. All right. So you got your 10 minutes ready, set to go.
As soon as he starts talking, we're gonna take off.
Yes, sir. All right, YeremiYah. So as soon as your time starts, as soon as you speak, your time will start.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm trying to transition my screen here. I'm also live.
All right.
So I'm transitioning my screen, family.
So, no problem. Your time will start when everything's set to go, brother. Take your time.
Appreciate it.
And if anybody hasn't had the chance to go ahead and click the greenhouse, Black Jesus Ministry Clubhouse. Go ahead and follow the moderators. Go ahead and follow everybody, the debaters, the judges, and everybody that resonates with you. You guys go ahead and follow the YouTube channel. You can go ahead and watch us live with the slides. So if you want to watch this in real time with slides right in front of you, you may go ahead. If you're feeling more comfortable with the audio, this is perfect as well. So go ahead and click the greenhouse on top and go ahead and nominate others to join this club to go ahead and have more debates, hosted by Black Jesus Minister. I appreciate everybody coming in, taking the time to come in here to this debate for edification and, say best stuff for the two debaters. So we're just here waiting at the time for YeremiYah to fix the slide, and we'll be able to head to the next round for YeremiYah.
All right, I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So YeremiYah, your time, you have 10 minutes. Your time will start when you start speaking.
All right, so first and foremost, man, I want to give all praise and honor to Abanawi Yahweh Shema Mashiach Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This man is all over the place, family. This man, we're supposed to be talking about Ethiopia. I'm trying to figure out why is he talking about Keturah, or the sons of Keturah, which are the children of Abraham. I don't understand this, right? So let's go into some information so you can all understand this more clearly. These are family lineages. I'm in Genesis chapter 10, starting at the 6th verse, and it reads, and the sons of Ham are Cush, Mithraim, Put, and Canaan. Okay. For those that don't know, the biblical name of the Ethiopian people are Cush. They are the Cushites. Verse 9 says that it speaks about Nimrod. Nimrod was the son of Cush. Tells us right here. He was a mighty man before the Lord. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. He began, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erect, and Akkad, and Calneel, and the land of Shinar. And when you understand this, Nimrod is the son of Cush, meaning that the beginning of the Babylonian period began with Cushites. Very important that you understand it, right? I'm in Genesis chapter 11, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to go to my first source. And this is from Cambridge, Revelation Biblical Teachings. And this is what it speaks about, because I got into this dialogue with Black Jesus Minister. He used to always ask me, well, what made Nimrod wicked? Let's look at this information here. This is Genesis chapter 11, verse 1 through 9, and this is what it reads. In the account of the Tower of Babel, now we should note before we read this passage that Babel was and is a literal location on the earth near the Euphrates River. In the Middle East, it could be translated, it could also be translated as in the case of the Babylonian Empire, which encompassed the region. Many years later, or as in the Babylonian system, by the evil world empire and forces that have prevailed on the earth throughout history and will certainly be in play in the last days. Revelation chapter 14, verse 8, Revelation chapter 17, verse 5, Revelation chapter 18, verse 2 speaks about that wickedness. This is important because the sin of the people of Babel, of the old, will be repeated throughout history until this very day. We must look at what the people of the ancient times did wrong so we don't repeat the sins in our time. So we don't repeat their sins in our time. Please bear with me. It's transitioning slow here. Come on, sucker. Verses 1 through 3 says, Now the whole earth used the same language, and the same words came about as they journeyed east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. They said one to another, Come, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly, that they may use bricks, stones, and slime for mortar. At first read, it would appear that this people didn't do anything wrong at this point. They journeyed together to a plain of Shinar and decided to settle there to form a city such as a vibrant, thriving economic city could be developed. Yet doing so, they have directly violated what God had commanded to Noah and his sons just 2 chapters earlier in Genesis 9:1. God said, God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. So if the entirety of man would have populated the earth since the flood and settled in one place, they have failed to obey God's commandments to fill the earth. They might increase the earth population, which God wanted to see happen, but they did not fulfill the earth. So in the first sin that they committed in Babel was directly disobeying the commandments of God to do the thing their own way. That sounds very familiar to the acts of unredeeming man throughout history to the Antichrist to come, doing things of their own accord. Remember, these are the same people. These are the Cushites. These are the Ethiopians. They have a template of behavior where they rebel against the Most High God. Very important that you understand this. Verse 4 says, they said, come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top reaches unto heaven. Let us make ourselves a name. Otherwise, we will be scattered abroad over the face of the entire earth. Here we see some really interesting facts. The people of Babel built a tower knowing that unless they do so, they would be scattered throughout the earth. So their decision to stay in one place was direct violation of God's commandments, which he had gave to them from the beginning, which was to fill the earth. This decision, right, shows forth great pride and arrogance toward God. The people of Babel did not care about honoring God's name, but they wanted to make a name for themselves. Same thing with what's going on today. This is a form of idolatry and glorifying and worshiping of man. They were trying to show God just how strong and self-sufficient they were. They despised him, rejected him, and even believed that they didn't need him at all. Worse yet, they believed that they could overthrow his place, right? This arrogance, we may believe that it is more powerful, make themselves believe that they're more powerful than God. Just by building a tower appropriately through those thoughts, they could enter heaven and have power just like God. By their own works, they would build and climb until they would be just as God. That is the sin from the beginning, that the serpent told Eve that she would be just like God. So all this is gonna manifest itself, family, as we go on through this debate, as we start diving off into who Haile Selassie truly was, and what are the believers in today's time, what do they believe about Haile Selassie? We're going to go into this information, and you are going to be exposed to the true doctrine that's behind deifying Haile Selassie. All right. So I want to make sure that you all are aware of, I had to show initially that there was a family line coming from Ham, not from Shem. Abraham comes from Shem. The Ethiopians come from Ham. Very important that you understand that. So this brother speaking about Keturah makes no sense at all, okay? Because the land that you live in is not a direct representation of the family line in which you come from. I yield.
Okay, you got time. 9 seconds left.
There's 9 seconds left. Did you wish to fully
time?
YeremiYah?
No, that's it.
All right, I appreciate that. So that is the end of the first round. This is the end of the opening round. We're heading over to the second round. We're going to go ahead and reset that time to 10 minutes. Zion's going to be your turn. This round, you'll be able to further concrete your premise and or rebuttal everything your opponent said in the first round. I'm going to repeat that again. You may go ahead and concrete and further your premise in the second round, and or you may go ahead and rebuttal. This is your 10-minute round. This is the second round, and we'll have one more round of rebuttaling before we head to the question round. So Zion, go ahead and is going to take the time for 10 minutes. Zion, do you have your PowerPoints ready before we go ahead and start your time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Yes. So we're going to
want to make
just real quick, brothers.
I'm not echoing on Lions Den debate. Karima, are you there? I'm good. Okay. All right. So what the brother did was shoot himself in the.
Just real quick, Zion. Real quick, Zion. Before we're going to go ahead and wait to have to set up his time. Do you have your time 10 minutes ready for Brother Zion?
Kind of with some of these start talking.
Okay. Sounds good. So we're going to go ahead and start your time, Zion, when you start speaking.
Okay. Okay. So you ready? Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Go. Let's go. All right. The problem is the brother just did what the Bible said not to do. Judge not, lest ye be judged by the same measure. Israel sinned against God multiple times with idolatry, etc., etc., going all the way back even into Exodus. Cut it out. Let's not sit here and judge Ethiopia for being idolatrous at one point when they were all children of Noah, following God's laws. The Bible said that Nimrod, I'm getting blinged up. Don't bling me right now. Okay, so no, that Nimrod was a mighty hunter before God. Then we go back into, I believe, Numbers 25. But watch this. Let's talk about the sins. Since we want to focus on the sins, let's look at the sins. In Numbers 25, verses 6, we see that the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren the Midianitess woman in the sight of Moses, in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle. Why? Because they had sinned against God. Not just Ethiopia, not just the Midianitess woman, but Ethiopia. And watch this.
All right, so hold on one second. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play the audio, so you can see my PowerPoint. So that's what I'm going to do now. Hold on one second. Stop sharing this. Right. So I'm gonna start over. And come from the phone so y'all can hear, and I'm going to play the my PowerPoint presentation from that point, from that position, right? So let me do that. All right. keep that there, and continue from the beginning of my round.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start your timeline.
Yes, sir.
When you start.
Okay. So you ready? Let's go. Is said not to do. Judge not, lest ye be judged by the same measure. Israel sinned against God multiple times with idolatry, etc., etc. Go back even into Exodus. Cut it out. Let's not simply here judge Ethiopia being idolatrous at one point when they children of Noah following God's laws. The Bible said that Nimrod is playing me right now. You get it? Okay, so Nimrod was a mighty hunter before God. We go to read Numbers 25. Watch this. Let's talk about the sins. Since we are on the sins, let's look. Sins. In Numbers 25, verses 6, we see that the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianite woman in the sight of Moses. All the congregation of children of Israel who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle. Why? Because they had sinned against God. Not just Ethiopia, not just the Midianite woman, but Ethiopia. And watch this. Phineas, the son of Eleazar, the son of the priest, saw it and rose up amongst the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. Verse 8, and he went to the man of Israel into the tent and thrust over it. The man of Israel and the woman through their bellies, so that the plague was taken. Now, guess what? Guess what God did? And those that died in the plague were 24,000. But God held up the plague. He took the acceptable offering of two, an Israelite and a Midianite Ethiopian woman. Go to Israel attacks Midianites. In Numbers 31, understand that when Israel attacked, destroyed the Midianite Ethiopians, right? That in that war, if you go from 31 verses 1 all the way down to 17, they took the Midianite girls, the ones that were not married, and they slew all of the men. They took all of the Midianite women unto themselves. Okay, so now we have another marriage after Abraham and Keturah and Moses and Zipporah. But here's the deal. Let's get to the Rechabites, because after the Midianites, who are Ethiopians, the Kenites come from the Ethiopians, and then the Rechabites come from the Kenites, who come from the Ethiopians. Watch this. The Rechabites were given more favor with God in Jeremiah 35. The prophet gathered the Rechabites into the house of the Lord and set bowls of wine in front of them, and the Rechabites firmly declined wine and explained the command of their forefather. They remained faithful to their family. Watch this. Go down to Jeremiah 35 verses 17. As a result, the Israelites historic disobedience that you want to try to place on everybody else except yourself. See, first yourself. God promised to bring disaster upon the nation, not the Rechabites, but the Israelites. Jeremiah 35, but God commanded the family of the Rechabites to give them a promise. The same promise that Moses had promised Jethro when he said, come with us. God has given us a blessing, and he will do the same unto you. If you come with us after Jethro was ready to go back to his own land. We already talked about that, right? So let's get there. There is much to look at. Family, the Rechabites stood firm against the assimilating into the culture of the time,
Who was in the time? Who was sinning? The Israelites. And the Rechabites stayed firm, right? And they were commended by God for their faithfulness and obedience to their father. The Rechabites are an example of steadfastness. God desires his people to live in obedience and steadfastness. So when Israel sinned, guess who God protected against the Syrians? The Rechabites were not touched, just like Ethiopia was never touched by colonialism. Let's move forward. Let's go back. Let's go back to Matthew 11:31. The queen of the south shall rise up in judgment. Wait, watch. The queen of the south shall rise up in judgment against this generation and condemn them, for she came from the uttermost parts of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon, and greater than Solomon is here. This is Christ saying that the queen of the south shall rise up. Oops, smushed. Watch this. Now we go to the Ethiopian unit. Don't you know, Brother JG 7000, thank you for giving me this. The angelic spirit encourages Philip to go to the Ethiopian unit. Like, hold on, the angelic spirit? He asked the unit if he understood what he was reading. He was reading Isaiah, right? And then the Ethiopian replied, how can I, unless someone gives a guide to me? Worried that the Bible passage was about himself, the eunuch was greatly relieved when Philip told him about the good news of Yeshua HaMashiach. He then requested to be baptized. Watch this. And that's when the oldest Christian church and nation was built in Ethiopia. Smush your head in. Romans 21. Watch this. Here's your problem. If you follow the New Testament, I'm going to get off of this. For there is no respect of persons with God. For there is no respect of persons with God. For there is no partiality with God. And there is no respect of persons with God. Right? That's Romans chapter 2, verses 11. Galatians, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is no bond nor free. There is neither male or female. For ye are all one. That's the kill shot. But watch this. Go to Titus. Here's your problem with some of y'all One West brothers. I love y'all, brother. Y'all my brothers. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, this is a trustworthy saying, and I want you to stress these things so that this is Titus chapter 3, verses 8 through 11. This is trustworthy things. I want you to stress these things so that those who have trusted in Yah may be careful to devote themselves to doing what is good. These things are excellent and profitable for everyone. Verses 9, but avoid, watch this, foolish controversies and genealogies and arguments and quarrels about the law, because these things are unprofitable and useless. Warn a divisive person once, then they warn them a second time after that, have nothing to do with them. Oh, we gotta stop. Then you may be sure. Now watch this. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 40, verses 13 and 17. Who can fathom the spirit of the Lord or instruct the Lord and his counsel? Wait, I forgot one of these verses. Okay, I have another verse over here that says that you had vain genealogies. Focusing on vain genealogies now in Christ. You can't do that no more. But let's move on. Who can fathom the spirit of the Lord or instruct the Lord and his counsel? Who did the Lord consult to enlighten him, or who taught him the right ways? Who was that who taught knowledge and showed him the path of understanding? Verses 15. Surely the nations are like drops. Thank you, JJ 7000. In a bucket. All of the nations, including you, they are regarded as dust on scales. He weighs the. I'm moving on. I'm done with that. So when you want to get your head smushed, I can go back. Isaiah chapter 11. In that day, the Lord will reach out his hand a second time to proclaim the remnant of his people from Assyria, from Lower Egypt, from Upper Egypt, and from Cush, from Elam, from Babylon, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the Mediterranean. He will raise a banner to the nations and gather the exiles of Israel, where he will assemble the scattered people of Judah. Now I can go a little bit further into this. However, I'm going to wait for this brother to shoot himself in the foot again. How much time do I have left? I'll go back to the rights money. Okay, 30 seconds. Now, I already went through Moses. I already went through Enoch. Okay, let's go to Acts, right? Well, we can do that. Genesis, I went through that. Isaiah, the same time God spake. So when he brings up the sins, here's the problem. When he brings up the sins, what he's not doing is judging himself. Judge not, lest he be judged. And I'm done.
All right. So let's go back to YeremiYah. Please say the Yahs. Let me stop sharing my screen here. And I'm going to bring this back so that this brother's presentation can be seen. Do it fair and square. You understand what I'm saying? There we go. Okay. All right.
There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is no bond nor free. There is neither male or female, for ye are all one. And that's the key. Go to Titus. Here's your problem with some of y'all One West brothers. Now, I love y'all brothers. Y'all my brothers. You know what I'm saying? And y'all, this is a trustworthy saying, and I want you to stress these things so that this is Titus chapter 3, verses 8 through 11. This is trustworthy things. I want you to stress these things so that those who have trusted in Yah may be careful to devote themselves. I can go back. Isaiah chapter 11. In that day, the Lord.
Right, and hit the focus and put on do not disturb. That way.
And gather the exiles of Israel, where he will assemble the scattered people of Judah. Now, I can go a little bit further into this. However, I'm going to wait for this brother to shoot himself in the foot again. How much time do I have left? I'll go back to the Rechabites on you.
30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. Now, I already went through Moses. I already went through Enoch. Okay, let's go to Acts, right? Well, we went through that. Genesis, I went through that. Isaiah, the same time God spake. So when he brings the sins, here's the problem. When he brings up the sins, what he's not doing is judging himself. Judge not, lest he be judged. And I'm done.
All right, so that is the end of Zion's second round of his concrete premise and his rebuttal round. We can go ahead and go to YeremiYah. Before we do, not sure if it's on my Clubhouse end, but I do hear a lot of sound like from notifications. So if it's possible, I would really appreciate it if you guys can go, if the debaters can go ahead and swipe their top right and hit the focus and put on do not disturb. That way, the little notification doesn't, you don't hear that on nobody's end. If possible, put your phone on silent. That way, the debate can be very well clear with audio for the listeners. I definitely appreciate that. So that was the end of Zion's round. So YeremiYah, you're going to be next. We're going to go ahead and set the time to 10 minutes. And again, YeremiYah, this is a round for you to go ahead and concrete or further your premise and be able to rebuttal everything your opponent has said. So the time is set for 10 minutes. YeremiYah, are you there? And is your power slides ready?
Yes.
Okay. So is the 10 minutes set ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Lord, making sure your time will start when you start speaking.
All right, man. So, I mean, this is shameful, man. I expected more from this brother, especially all of the wonderful history of Haile Selassie. This man ain't said nothing about Haile Selassie. I was expecting more of the family lineage, some of the things that we talked about. I was expecting more of that history to come out. You wasted an entire second round and didn't bring it up. But I'm going to bring it up, though. Right? But first, let me deal with a few points, right? The Bible tells us in Isaiah chapter 60 that the children of Israel shall be the bearer of light unto the Gentiles, right? It tells us in Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23, they shall grab the skirt of him that is a Jew and say, we will come with you because we have heard that God is with you. The children of Israel is the salt of the earth. We are the light of the earth when we're following the Most High and the Mashiach Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We are that light. So somebody being able to follow, we don't have no problem with. Every example you gave, talking about the Ethiopian eunuch, talking about the Queen of Sheba. The Queen of Sheba went to Solomon to get some of that light. The Ethiopian eunuch needed an Israelite to come to teach him. He said, how should I know unless some man teach me? And who's the teachers, Zion? Who's the teachers? The children of Israel, man. So stop the madness, man. We have a superior position in the eyes of God. Understand this, right? So I want everybody to understand that there's a underlying premise here that we have to be aware of based upon what I brought out in my first round concerning the wickedness of Babylon. If you want to know about that wickedness, go to Revelation chapter 17 and Revelation chapter 18 and read that. You will see the evil and wickedness that came from that place of Babylon, which was originally established by the Cushites, who they call the Ethiopians today. A part of their doctrine is to deify Haile Selassie. And they use Marcus Garvey for that. But are you familiar with what Marcus Garvey thought about Haile Selassie? Let's see here. This is Marcus Garvey. He says, Garvey exhibited no admiration for Selassie. He condemned him as a great coward for fleeing the Macedonian troops in 1935 when the Italians invaded Ethiopia. He also criticized Selassie for his practice of slavery, which was not abolished in Ethiopia until 1942, in Garvey's own words, right? Garvey goes on to say this. Shalakia family, 1 second. A PowerPoint moving slow. Okay, here we go. Marcus Garvey went on to say this. It is profitable for the Abyssinians, Negroes, and the Negroes of the world to work for the restoration of freedom of the countries without the assistance of Selassie, because at best he is but a slave master himself. The Negroes of the Western world, whose forefathers suffered for 300 years under the tyranny of slavery, ought to be able to appreciate what freedom means. Surely they cannot flee or surely they cannot feel justified in supporting any system that would hold to that, right? Marcus Garvey goes on to say, 1 second here we go. Their brothers in slavery in other countries, while they are enjoying the benefits of freedom elsewhere, the Africans who are free can also appreciate the position of slaves in the Abyssinian Ethiopians. What right has the emperor to keep slaves? Haile Selassie kept slaves, brothers and sisters, when all the democratic sections of the world were free. when men had the right, when men had the right to live, to develop and expand and enjoy the benefits of human liberties. 1937. All right. So like your family. All right. So it goes on to say here, while few reggae aficionados realize the world's gulf between Selassie methodology or mythological representation in public culture and the realities of his tyrannical reign, the perception of Selassie was a proud the perception of Selassie was of a proud African and a champion of Black people is not supported by facts. He also later embraced the Rastafarian movement because he understood their popular relation value of his cult of personality. Some of the dedicated followers would be dismayed to learn that Selassie revealed not his own, but he revealed the people of Europe and America who routinely were invited to his lavish palace and to his lavish parties in his palace. His overthrowing in 1974 and subsequent death caused a crisis of faith in Jamaica amongst the followers of the Rastafarian faith. The religion does not accept the former emperor's death and instead depicts it as a disappearance, similar to the belief of the Shiites branch of Islam, and the hidden Imam. Goes on to say, Bob Marley in 1975 sung a song, Jah Live Seeketh, to the Rastafarians, the fact of Selassie's death by instance that is a deity cannot die. They didn't deify Haile Selassie, brothers and sisters. Again, you have to understand the connection with the Ethiopians in trying to do nothing more than utilize replacement theology. This is why he was going into the New Testament scriptures. It makes no sense to say that there's no male and no female when there's still male and female unless you're willing to marry a man. Stop the madness, man. Historical accounts of the reign of Menelik II, forgive me, family, shows how contemporaries of Blackness, exploitation, and slavery and cruelty as a case of point, right, made importance through little acknowledgement and contributions to the Ethiopian victory over the Italian colonies. And in 1896, the gathering of the cruel intellectuals on Italian wars struggled and impressed upon the emperor Menelik II. Returned the favor by savage attributes to the arms and legs of the prisoners of war. Never mind, those poor prisoners were violated and forced to fight under Italian oppression, as other Ethiopian colonies used Africans and Indians and other colonies to subject and confound them. It's of the utmost importance, family, that we understand what was going on in Ethiopia during the time of Haile Selassie and what was going on with Menelik II. If we don't take in consideration what they were doing and how they felt about our Blackness, quote unquote, they had a problem with it. They were slave drivers themselves, right? And these are the same people that are descendants from the original Cushite, Babylonians, Ethiopians from the beginning. So we have to take these things in consideration when we're looking and examining the people for themselves. Otherwise, all this other stuff means nothing. These people, he cannot draw a line and connect none of these Ethiopians to Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob. He cannot do it. I yield.
All right, that is the end of the second round of your concrete premise and rebuttal. We're about to get to the third round. Now, the third round is going to be very important. I request or hope that both debaters both have a pen and pencil or listen very closely to this third round, because this is where you want to make sure your opponent's rebuttal and their premise is very clear before heading to the question round. You don't want to get a question and for your opponent to say that it's something they never said and you just lost some time. So make sure you hear very well in this third round. So this is going to be the second and last rebuttal round for both debaters. So we're going to go ahead and set the time at 10 minutes. Is go ahead and set the time for 10 minutes. Zion, are you there? This is going to be your second rebuttal round. And
I'm there. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm about
yes, sir.
Heading. Be the last.
Okay. Yes, sir. All right. So this is going to be the second rebuttal round. Like I said, this is your opportunity to make your rebuttal and your premise of this debate very clear, so that your opponent will be able to fully understand and the questions are clear when we get to the question round after this. So your time is going to start when you start speaking.
Okay. Can you hear me? Let me make sure that Karima can hear. Karima, can you hear me?
We hear you clear on the Clubhouse side. Check on the YouTube side. You sound good on the Clubhouse side.
That's my mic. You can hear me? Okay. All right. So what I don't want to do is okay. Can't open my mic. No one's here. Open your mic. I'm trying. Hold my time for a second, y'all.
Yeah, you don't worry. Just as soon as the YouTube side is clear, we'll start the time here. Okay.
I'm trying, Mama. Can you open my mic on your end? I can't open my mic. Oh wait, I know why. I know exactly why. Okay. So I'm about to share my screen, and this comes from a whole. Okay.
Right. So
all right. So you got me now?
Y'all can hear and see my PowerPoint.
Can y'all hear me
on
your
screen here? And start sharing the screen. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this right. Hold on. Go to presentation. I'm going to type. See David. So no, I'm just going to let it play. You know what I'm saying? From this point here, I'll let the rest of this play out so y'all can hear.
All right. So, yeah. So, point by point, what this brother addressed, first and foremost, okay. Outside. All right. So hit that clock because I'm about to smush his head in. Okay. So let me enlarge my screen for the Lions Den and for anybody who wants to see my PowerPoint. Here's the deal. He made the first mistake by claiming that Gentiles. We already agreed that we was going by the King James Version, right? We already agreed that we was going by the King James Version. If you go to Genesis chapter 10, you'll see that nowhere in the Bible does the children of Ham ever be called Gentiles. Only ones who were called Gentiles were Japheth's children. So you can't even put him in that category. Number two, Jethro was the one who taught. This dude tried to bring up Israel teaching quote unquote Gentiles. Well, however, Ethiopians and Midianites and Nicobites and Kenites were not Gentiles. And it was, I already showed y'all that it was Jethro who taught Moses how to fix his face and give laws. Okay, let's go back to this. He wants to bring up Haile Selassie. It has nothing to do with the title of the debate, first and foremost. The has nothing to do with it. But we won't go there. When David retreated into a cave from King Saul, was he a coward? When Jesus went to Cyrene to run from the Romans, was he a coward? See, what most Negroes don't know is that when you study warfare, you'll find out that George Washington and most of the greatest war strategists who won their wars had to run sometimes. But that's neither here nor there. So let's get into this. He goes into he's talking about women and this whole nine. The Israel is over everybody. Well, Yeshua said that Sheba would judge you. That means that she's being a judge over Israel. We already did that with Matthew 11, right? So why is he repeating things that I already shot him in the foot with, right? Let's go over to Deuteronomy. He wants to equate himself as an Israelite based on Deuteronomy 28 and a bogus 12-tribe chart. We're going to sit here and deny 3,000 years of Ethiopian history connected with Israel. Nigga, please. Go on with Marcus Garvey, who was a Catholic. Hold on. He tried to say that slavery wasn't abolished until 1942, and Marcus Garvey was angry because he didn't abolish it. Marcus Garvey died in 1940, nigga. Marcus Garvey did not see Haile Selassie's work, but he began the work in 1923. Also, the same time that he sent a dude named Malaku Bayan over here to America to free black slaves and bring them back to Ethiopia. He don't care about us? Nigga, please. You need to study more and stop listening to the propaganda that white folks see. You still stuck in the Hamitic hypothesis that was started by Gabriel Seligman in 1700s. So let's go forward. 1942 was the end of slavery, but he began the abolishment of slavery in 1923. But he did not want slavery to just end abruptly because it would have set a whole lot of people in a state of poverty like it did in America. He saw America's issue and he saw the disparity that it caused African Americans and said he had to slowly remove slavery. He hated slavery and he began his work in 1920s. It took 20 years for it to actually be abolished by his own work. The most decorated man on the planet, y'all. Y'all look it up. Okay, let's go into this. Israel to this day would not exist if it were not for Haile Selassie. Y'all, you want to bring up Haile Selassie? Nigga, please. Haile Selassie was the one who destroyed the League of Nations, and upon the destruction of the League of Nations, the United Nations was built, and upon that in 1942, same time slavery was abolished in Ethiopia, that's the same time that the state of Israel, as it exists today, was reestablished. Let's move forward. The Holy Spirit, we want to talk about women. I'm not saying be gay. Don't do that. The Bible said that the Holy Spirit will be poured out unto all flesh, and even women would prophesy. That's in your New Testament. Okay? You want to get into this? There was a marriage in Canaan. Canaan. Jesus and his mother was there. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Watch this. His Imperial Majesty, just like Yeshua HaMashiach, was born at between two feast days. The first feast day he was born in front of in 1882 was the Feast of Tabernacle. And a couple of weeks later was something called, what is it called?
Tu B'Av.
The word in Hebrew is
Tu B'Av.
I forget the word, but it is considered a minor feast day, but it is the marriage. So now what we're seeing is a marriage between man and woman, between God and his church,
between Israel and
his
Ethiopia,
people, right? But see, you want to always exalt Israel. That's your problem, because it ain't about Israel being the judge. It's God. God is the judge. Christ is the king. You are not no king. You don't even have no pedigree. But let's go forward. Haile Selassie in the Black Power movement, you wouldn't even know you was an Israelite if it wasn't for Malafu Bey and coming to Chicago and to Harlem, New York in 1920s when the Ethiopian Abyssinian Zionists and the commandment keepers who had actual photo.
Right now at Domino's, you can carry out any
Second. Let me get this tight so we can finish this up.
Well, however, Ethiopians and Midianites and Rechabites and Kenites were not Gentiles. And it was, I already showed y'all that it was from the Romans. Was he a coward? See, let's go over to
Go forward a little bit more.
To actually be abolished by his own work. The most decorated man on the planet, y'all.
More forward.
Okay? Do you want to get into this? There was a marriage in Canaan.
And a little bit more. We did that already.
For a whole bunch of conjecture. Lifting himself up. Raising Israel up. Just like he would say. So let's go back to the Babel. He said Babylonians. No. Understand that Babel was a different people than the Babylonians. Yes, it was the same land. Different people. Those two empires were ruled by totally different people. Babel, yes, was ran by Cushites. Absolutely. Nimrod was a mighty hunter unto God until he became idolatrous, just like the Israelites did. And why Deuteronomy 28 got you over here in bondage. Judge not, lest ye be judged by the same measure. And who's going to judge you? The children of Sheba, the queen of the south, my nigga. So you need to fix your face, because none of y'all, not none of your commanders, not none of your generals got no authority, no pedigree, but 72 nations bowed before Haile Selassie. And Marcus Garvey was the first one who prophesied, look to the east for the coming of a black king. But when Haile Selassie retreated, he became a punk and he died in 1940 before he saw him actually come back into power and defeat the Italians, shooting airplanes down himself on the front line. Nigga, please. I got there's videos of Haile Selassie shooting down bomber planes. He ended slavery in a periodical progression because he did not want his people to suffer. Y'all just gonna drop y'all off, get into slavery, y'all broke, whatever. Brother was shooting down. You wouldn't even have an afro in the 1970s and 1960s if it wasn't for the videos that white folks were showing of the Ethiopian-Italian War. That the whole entire Haile Selassie Ethiopian-Italian War was the basis and foundation for the Black empowerment movement, nigga. You wouldn't even be here talking about you an Israelite with your dreadlocks in your head. If it wasn't for the Mau who swore that they would not cut their hair until the emperor was reestablished upon the throne. Was that one more minute? Okay, I'm done. All right, so I'm gonna go back over here to this debate. I need to hear that.
Get really good in the next round. So it is go ahead and restart your time back to 10 minutes. Lord Megatron, make sure you have your PowerPoint, your audio on your Clubhouse and YouTube side is clear. So make sure you go ahead and audio check before we step in. And just reminder, like I said, this is going to be the third and second rebuttal round. So that means make sure, your rebuttals and your premise is very clear for your opponent to be able to head to the question round. And it's all clear. So again, before we do, and like I said, go ahead and click the green house, the Black Jesus Minister Club. We go ahead and nominate others to become members of the club. You go ahead and hold more debates. Make sure you go ahead and follow the moderators and the debaters and the judges and everybody else around you. So those are communities for us to have more debates like these. It's a very interesting debate. Very different from your typical Gentile salvation, virgin birth debates that we see every day. This is different. hopefully the Clubhouse and the YouTube community are being edified. So go ahead and click the green house on top. YeremiYah, go ahead and set your PowerPoint and let us know if you're clear on that side, so we can set your time and get ready to get this third round going. Is your side good to go, YeremiYah?
Not just yet. I'm trying to get it right now.
All right, just go ahead and take your time and let us know when you're ready. We'll be right here. In the meantime, while YeremiYah's facing that, just want to make sure, since I don't have Facebook, is this link here, does that direct you straight to the YouTube page where the debaters are debating, where they'll be able to see the PowerPoint?
I can put that in there now.
Yeah, go ahead and put that on top, so that way, if anybody wants to go and look at the slides, they can go. We're just waiting momentarily for Lord Megatron to, get his audio and his PowerPoint ready before we head to the third round and before we head to the question round. So I appreciate everybody taking the time and their patience before we head to the final round.
Man, I can't share anymore. I'm not a moderator.
Mm-hmm. No, it's all good. Go ahead and send it to my back chat, and I'll put it on top.
Okay. All right, there you go.
All right, appreciate that. I'll go ahead and do that right now, and then like I said, you have your PowerPoint.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
I can't.
And that's why I was able to snipe him off the rip first to show you what Marcus Garvey said about him. So I hope everybody seen that. And he didn't refute what Marcus Garvey said. He said anybody runs during the time of trouble. Marcus Garvey called him a coward. All right? Understand that. This debate is whether or not Ethiopians are equal with Israel. Let's see. Amos chapter 3, verse 1 and 2. What does it say here? Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel. Who? O children of Israel. Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families on the earth. Therefore will I punish you for all your iniquity. The debate is over. Okay? It's over. It didn't say a damn thing about no Ethiopians. Understand this. Again, my primary point is the Ethiopians are the Cushites. The Cushites are the children of Ham. Ham is the brother of Shem. Shem is the progenitor of Abraham. Abraham had a son, Isaac. Isaac had a son, Jacob. Jacob is the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. That has nothing to do with Ethiopia at all. Understand this. If you cannot reconcile what I'm saying to you concerning the time, the line in the lineage and how it delineates between father to son. All right. The Bible says here in Deuteronomy 7:6. Let's see if we're all created equal. The Bible says, Deuteronomy 7:6, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. One second. Come on back.
You want to pause the time, Rodney?
I got it. I'm back.
Yeah, go.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people, above all Ethiopians, above all Egyptians, above all Babylonians, above all Greeks and Romans, above all people that are upon the face of the earth, man. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any other people, for you were fewest of all people. Verse 8, because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers. Is Ham their father? No. Have the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is a God, the faithful God, which keepeth his covenant, man. So you're going to tell me that Ethiopians get to come in and amalgamate with the children of Israel, and now you make the Most High God a liar. Because he said he was going to keep his oath. What oath? You only have I known of all the people that are upon the face of the earth. Right? He would keep his oath and covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. Ain't nothing changed. Deuteronomy 10:15. What does the Bible say? Only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers. Who? Ham? Cush? Nah. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? Only the Lord had a delight in thy father to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people that are upon the face of the earth, as it is to this day. The debate is over. Understand this. That's Deuteronomy 10:15. You have to take these things in consideration. Everybody here that's listening, you know damn well that the Most High God have a chosen people, and they are not Ethiopian, man. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 15, he quoted this earlier. I'm not going to read it. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as the small of the dust of the balance. Behold, he take up the isles as a very little thing. All nations before him are as nothing. They are counted to him less than nothing in vanity. He was talking about the other nations. I just read to you that how much he loved us. What is this guy talking about? That includes you. Nah, no, it don't. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 54. What does the Bible say here? 2nd Ezra 6, 54 through 59. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. And the people also whom thou hast chosen. Verse 55. All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake. Who's the our? The children of Israel. Verse 56. As for the other people outside of the children of Israel, as for the other people which also come from Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them as the abundance that fall from a vessel. Verse 57. Oh, now, Salakia, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, who, non-Israelites, which are ever reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and devour us. Verse 58. But we, thy people, whom thou callest thy firstborn and thy only begotten and thy fervent lover. What is he talking about here? What is he talking about? The Most High God loved the children of Israel. Verse 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not inherit? Why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? Brothers and sisters, the Most High God have professed his love for his people, man. Daniel chapter 9, verse 11, because you're looking for, you're referencing Haile Selassie and people that's having certain benefits, but the Bible says we are cursed, right? And the curse is poured out upon us. Daniel chapter 9, verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, thy servant of God, because we have sinned. Right? But the Most High deal with us as a father deals with his son, man. This punishment that he places upon us, he gives it to us for correction purposes. As it is written in the law of Moses, all this evil has come upon us. Yea, may we now our prayers before the Lord and our God, that we might turn from our iniquity and understand thy truth. Right? Therefore, the Lord washed upon the evil and brought it upon us. For the Lord our God is righteous in all his works he doeth. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 50, Isaiah 45 and 14. What does the Bible say about the Ethiopians? Let's see. Thus saith the Lord. Salakia. Pause my time real quick, man. Pause my time.
All right, pause the time.
Yeah, 1 second. All right, I'm ready.
All right, we're going to go ahead and
so we just start talking.
time in about 3. Yeah, as soon as you start speaking, YeremiYah, your time will resume.
How much time I got left?
1 minute 17.
All right. So this is Isaiah chapter 45, verse 14. What does it say here? Thus saith the Lord, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of the Ethiopians and the Sabians and men of stature shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine, and they shall come after thee in chains, They shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee, and they shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely God is in thee. Who? The children of Israel. And there shall none else, there is no God. Understand this, man. The Ethiopians is going into slavery, man. Whether you like it, love it, understand it or not. Zephaniah 2 and 11. The Lord will be terrible unto thee, for he will finish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, every one from his place, unto all the isles of the heathen. Verse 12. And ye Ethiopians also, ye Ethiopians also, and Sabians shall be slain by the sword. What's going to happen to Ethiopians? They shall be slain by the sword. What is this guy talking about? Is he reading the same book I'm reading? I don't understand this. Right?
Time.
All right. That is the end of the 3rd round. We're about to get to the last round, the boxing 12th round. We're going to get right in the middle of the ring where the punches are actually being thrown hand in hand. We're heading to the questioning round. It's going to be 15 minutes. Your opponent's going to have, do you guys prefer 1 minute and a half or 2 minutes? This is a 15-minute round. You guys want to do a minute and a half or 2 minutes?
This one going to end because, you know what I'm saying, question and answer round was,
you're going to have,
you know what I'm saying, irrelevant.
2 minutes.
At the end of the day, it was not officiated properly.
Or no.
And so this is where I will begin to end this entire debate. I will be right back. I'm going to pull up another debate that I did prior to this one. I'm going to make sure that I record all of my debates on my platform. So, with that said, it's the end of this broadcast. Much love, much respect. You know what I'm saying? You decide who won that debate, and much blessings to you all.